CBS News correspondent David Martin on race in the ranks.
Every single African American we've interviewed said they had to moderate their behavior so they weren't intimidated.
I had a very candid conversation with one of the individuals who passed me this information. He broke it down. You're big, you're black, with a deep voice. You're intimidating. And if you want to move on, you have to do something about it.
This week on 60 Minutes, we reported on racial bias in the military. From the rank and file to officers, African Americans in the Air Force say they are treated differently than their white counterparts. Major Daniel Walker is an F-22 pilot. On an Air Force program called Real Talk, hosted by Lieutenant General Brad Webb, he read comments made by other black pilots.
I have a couple of quotes I want to read off.
You bet.
My fighter experience was the most demoralizing experience in my life, and I've been homeless. The second is, to be yourself and thrive in a fighter squadron as a black man is an oxymoron. Either conform or fail. These are my friends. These are my brothers. And my sisters, actually.
Walker sat down with us to share his story.
This story is not uncommon. I could very easily attribute this interaction to that action on my part. But when you compare stories from people you've never met, and they're almost identical, down to the individual and down to the comment, you start to realize these are not singular events in one person's life.
Walker grew up in Dallas. His family told stories of his great-uncle, Norman Scales, a Tuskegee airman who earned a Distinguished Flying Cross for combat missions during World War II.
At 6 years old, to have your dad's uncle be a Tuskegee airman and see the movies and hear about Uncle Scales, he's got a street named after him in Austin. Your family can't help but talk about him. And when I was born and they saw things in me, I felt at a very early age those hopes start to transition to my shoulders. He flew fighters and he changed the trajectory of my family's history. So that's what I'm going to do.
Determined to follow in those footsteps, Walker went to the Air Force Academy and from there to pilot training.
Had you been told what to expect at flight school?
Unfortunately, yes. We've had alumni come back, black pilots who'd gone through pilot training. The story was, you're going to go, they're going to treat you poorly. When you wash out, they're probably not going to keep you in the Air Force. So if you go, don't go trying to fly fighters. But in the grand scheme of things, probably don't go.
How did that play in your decision about whether to go?
Well, in my mind, I have to prove it can be done and then prove it can be repeatable.
Walker excelled at flight school and earned a coveted assignment to fly the Air Force's top-of-the-line F-22 stealth fighter.
So you go to F-22 school?
Yes, sir.
What was that like?
It was a blast. It was the most fun I'd ever had in my entire life. Seeing things and doing things with so much power underneath you and behind you and around you that it's surreal.
Did you feel your race going through the F-22 training?
Not initially. I got feedback at the end of this course, however, that it was very evident that I was having a good time and maybe I shouldn't have been, or I talked too much. I started to realize that maybe there was something more to this. Things like, if you don't assimilate, we will weed you out. Or I have to ask myself, is this a me thing or is this something else? And that takes a lot of energy to carry that question mark around with you.
After his training, Walker joined an F-22 squadron in Langley, Virginia.
Did you feel like you belonged?
I did initially. I did.
Initially?
You start to hear feedback like, he's too quiet. It seems like he thinks he's too good to be here or too good for this place. And then you try to be a different form of quiet. Or the way he walks is intimidating.
After 11 years as an Air Force officer, Walker decided it was time to move on.
I had to really start taking seriously my happiness, my well-being. Ask myself, am I willing to continue fighting uphill and chance going back to a squadron where I have to manage myself this way and sacrifice these things personally? Will I get anywhere?
Walker's departure leaves the Air Force with fewer than 50 black fighter pilots. Lieutenant General Brad Webb.
It's a loss for the Air Force. He was an incredible pilot, incredible officer, outstanding officer for us. but he served our nation well.
Walker has been accepted at Harvard Law School.
That flag still means a ton to me. I have something unique to add to my country in a different plane. My decision to go to law school, which is what I have planned next for myself, centers around that. How can I take everything I've experienced here to include these interviews in this moment in time and channel it, this energy, toward affecting change? If I'm going to do anything with the rest of my life, I think it's going to be that. It has to be that.
Good morning. Today is July the 11th. The year is 2023. It's a beautiful morning. I'm sitting outside here. The dogs have been fed and put away. It's about 9:30 in the morning. I've been up since about 6 o'clock, 6:30 this morning, watching some news and cleaning up around here. Wow, what an interesting story. A young man, intelligent, articulate black man, educated, very intelligent, leaving the U.S. Armed Forces because of racism. I repeatedly told y'all, but y'all don't want to hear it. Yeah, y'all, it's almost, when I hear black people say the comment that, particularly black women, make the comment that black men, starting at a very early age in this country. First off, whether you male or female, if you're born in the United States of America, you black, your black ass is in trouble. You are in trouble. And it's going to take a hell of a lot of work, and it shouldn't have to be this way. A hell of a lot of issues and a lot of hurdles to overcome. And some just are not capable of overcoming these hurdles. This man is was in the U.S. Armed Forces, a fighter, a pilot, on his way to Harvard Law School, and look what he had to put up with. He couldn't do nothing right. No, he couldn't do anything right because he was an intelligent black man, and white folks cannot stand to see that. I've said this 1,000 times, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience, y'all. I've been around white folks, and they love what was being done, but then they found out my black ass did it, and they were like, okay, this nigga did this shit? You did this? And I really didn't start getting those experiences until, like I said, my mother divorced her husband, was paying all the fucking bills, like my mother being an ignorant black woman that she was, screaming to Jesus, praying and think he gonna pay the bills. She ended up divorcing my father, which was the stupidest thing she could have ever done, and packed her shit and moved up to move, then sent the family on a whirlwind tour of America from Michigan to Cincinnati and then to Atlanta. But by far the worst was Cincinnati. The racism I encountered there in high school was overwhelming. I was like, well, how are these black folks surviving here in this racist environment? I'd never experienced anything like that. I didn't understand it. Coming from out of a great school system like Gary, you didn't realize how great it was until I got it. I said, Gary was excellent compared to this shit. Gary wanted to excel. They had teachers who cared about you. Cincinnati, the white folks didn't give a fuck. But anyway, this is a very interesting report of a intelligent black man who's doing something positive with his life, who just run into roadblock after roadblock. And finally he gave up and said, okay, I'm moving on. I can't deal with this because it's starting to affect his mental health, his well-being, and it just wasn't worth it for him. And he gave up on his dreams. So many black people, men and women, have given up. It takes a strong person to put up with these racist ass white folks and their foolish behavior, because you want to slap the shit out their fucking asses. Just the encounter I had with the real estate agent who was listing this house, bitch, you just a listing agent. And the stuff the things that she did just made me want to drive over to the office and whoop her white ass. Or what she was trying to get me to do was not buy this house, because she didn't want no niggas in this neighborhood. Pay attention to these white folks, y'all. Many of y'all seem to think they your friends. They ain't. There's some good white folks out there. Of course they are. Yeah, of course they are some good white folks. Yeah, of course. But the vast majority of the white folks in this country don't want to see your black ass. And they don't want you to have success, and they don't want to see you succeed. The U.S. military, U.S. Air Force, this man is working for the country, fighting for this, and they don't want him there. Or they're harassing him. And this man ain't making this shit up, y'all. We know he's telling the truth. There was an article a few years back by the owner of the largest owned McDonald's franchisee in the United States. Hey, he sued McDonald's. I read that whole article. This man is a millionaire, successful, but the shit he went through as a McDonald's franchisee and what they put him through, he filed a lawsuit and won because of their racist behavior at McDonald's corporate office. If you live in this country and you think these white folks want black people to succeed, you are a fucking fool. You are beyond stupid. You're living in a fantasy world. You're just ignorant. Which, you're in America. Ignorance comes, this whole country's fucking ignorant. Americans are some of the most ignorant people. Boy, y'all some ignorant motherfuckers. Just flat out ignorant. The stuff that comes out of black people and white folks' mouth, I say, oh God, these are ignorant motherfuckers. The fact that they went and voted for that fucking dumbass Donald Trump should tell you a whole lot about the United States of America. Ignorant as hell. But here you have an articulate, educated, handsome man. They did not like his ass. They don't like his ass. They ain't like him because of his skin color. Had he been white, he could have went on and made and did and ran the corporal, moved on up. They wouldn't let him move nowhere, honey. They looked at his black ass and said, no, nigga, you smart, you intelligent, you know you look good, we don't want you nowhere around here. And they began harassing him. He couldn't say anything. Even when he didn't say nothing, he was too quiet. He wouldn't assimilate. Well, how can you assimilate when you ain't telling me everything I do that you're asking me to do, it ain't working? Been down that path before. It's a rough ride in this country, particularly our African American men. And y'all, it starts at these white folks, this country goes after black boys at an early age. Now, in regards to the comments on my YouTube channel, I know a lot of you all are fake. Your profiles are fake. You're assuming identities of black women. You're making fake comments. You're not white. Y'all done figured this up a long time. Well, I just delete the shit. Be very careful in the comment section about who's posting, saying, and what, because a lot of times you think it's a black woman or you think it's a black man, but it's somebody white playing a game, a vicious game, and that happens all over social media. In many instances, I've almost wanted to eliminate the comment sections on my videos, because what's the point? It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Sometimes I do like to read some of the comments. Some of them are real and honest, but a lot of them are just flat out fake, and we don't know who the people are posting on this shit. But like I said, I know what it's like to be black and male in the United States. You in trouble. And I'm not saying it's any easier for black women. They'd rather see a black woman in that position than see a black man in there. You better believe that. All my friends who work in corporate America, the horror stories they told me about going in there and working for them companies, the horror before they gave up and said, fuck it, and then start their own. The best way you can survive in this country is to be self-employed. You working a 9 to 5, going in these damn companies, especially in corporate America, good luck. You gonna fucking need it. You gonna need it. Having an appraiser coming over here today to appraise this house to see how that goes. Why the appraiser showing up over here? I gotta get my nigga. I got status, nigga. No black folks here. Although I think I spoke to her briefly last night. She said, "Oh, the value's there." I said, "Yeah, there's a value to this. A big ass house that's been fully renovated." But I think you might discount the value when you see this big ass nigga walk through the front door and greet your ass. It's amazing to me. Every time somebody comes to this house, and I walk my ass over there, ring the doorbell, and I'll open up that door. It doesn't matter who it is. They look like, is the homeowner in? This the nigga in charge. How can I help you? They look like, like they didn't, like a wild animal. Just Bigfoot then came out the house. They be startled. Georgia, I don't know. Xfinity was doing something up and down the streets, and they came and knocked on the door. There was a group of technicians, all white folks. When I walked up their damn front door and they saw my head, they looked like they were scared to death. I'm like, okay, what y'all want? Oh, you ain't got to stutter. I ain't got no guns on me, no knives, no weapon. You're standing at my front door. Can I help you white boys with anything? And y'all, it's like this every time. One guy came over here. I can't remember what he came over here for. And he had to bring him into the house. And he walked in the house and was like, whoa, this is a $1 million house. My God, this is beautiful. You own this? His eyes was just so buck wild. I'm like, yeah, I ain't never seen black folks inside houses with that nice homes. It's just weird to me. Maybe not on this side of town. They probably don't see it. If they work certain areas, because you just a little bit north of here, just Gwinnett and White. Literally, the houses behind me are in Gwinnett County. This house sits on the border. And they got some drop dead gorgeous houses over in Gwinnett. And I didn't even know Gwinnett had them type of houses. So when I drive through Gwinnett County, like, wow, well, they live like this. But a lot of there, it's diverse over there. You got white people, you have Indian people, you have Muslims. It's very diverse. A lot of white folks, though. It's weird because I shop at the Kroger up the street. This is strange. When you go to Kroger up the street and a white guy runs up to you, I know where you live at. But I'm like, well, I don't know where you live at. They recognize me. They could be my size, bald head, black guy, big white house on top of the hill. Nigga up there. Y'all think these white folks want black people to succeed in this country? You are a fool. Then we make it harder on each other. Then we make it even harder on each other. I need a vacation. Y'all know how much I despise Atlanta. I need a break. Anyway, I thought this was a very interesting report. I'm trying to do more positive reports, but you have an intelligent black man in the military. And that report's maybe about a year or two old. It was on 60 Minutes. Even I have been harder on blacks in the past, but over time you have to wake up sometime and realize that the cards are against you. And some people can't get through the matrix. Some people don't know how. And I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people, a lot of black guys, a lot of younger black folks. It's so difficult to talk to these guys because they don't hear shit I got to say. That's just a given. But it's a very difficult road for blacks in this country. What can you do about it? Ain't much. I mean, it's literally from health, medical, finance, banking, educational system, the juvenile court system, period, civil court, criminal court, all against you. How do you succeed? Some people fall through the cracks. Some people can't get through. I got through. But you got a lot of gatekeepers around here. A lot of them. And like I said, some of y'all walk around with blinders on, you don't see nothing. Until you ran up against a brick wall. And I was like, they got my ass. Well, yeah, you like going through the little mouse trap. You getting through that, you getting around, and you make it. You went into a dead end. Damn it, what? And what happened to you, huh? I've known about racist white folks and their racist behavior since, like I said, I got to Cincinnati, Ohio, in Aiken High School and saw them crackers in action. I said, okay, they did not want to see an intelligent black man in that school have success. They put me through hell. Mind you, I spent the first quarter, I moved to Mississippi with my father to Louisville, Mississippi. I knew I wasn't going to stay there. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous down here. Louisville, Mississippi, high school was even worse. I think that one semester, and I said, okay, I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I can't do nothing right here. You raise your hand to comment, they look at all of them, you would never. It was like, what? And I've always been a rather outspoken person, even as a teenager. I ain't give a fuck. I really didn't. And I would go to battle with them damn teachers. They ain't like my ass. They didn't. Especially the white ones. This nigga think he know every damn thing. And I said, yes, I've heard that all my life. You think you know every damn thing. But you sitting up in my house, sitting at my table, at my dining room table, in my home, but I think I know everything. Then what the fuck you doing over here for then? Get the fuck out. Go figure it out on your own. No too many people get in here no more. Go figure that shit out on your own. You know more than me. Get out. Tired of it. I gotta file an eviction on this house that my sister should have to go. I've repeatedly asked her not to smoke weed in this house. Sounds like a minor issue, but it ain't. Because this house fills with smoke and weed, and I wake up in the morning time, I don't smoke weed, and I don't like the smell of it, I'm allergic to it, and I'm like, oh my God, my head is hurting, I don't feel well, this house is down there smoking that weed, she smokes it outside, the odor comes back inside, get out. I've asked you repeatedly not to bring it on the property. But you ignored every wish that I've asked, so I'm just going to file an eviction and do like anybody else in America. Go down to the courthouse, file an eviction, throw my ass out. That's all I can do. Have my basement back. And I'm not renting out no more. To nobody. Should have never did that shit with her crazy ass. Anyway, I just wanted to do this quick video. And, sometimes, y'all, we gotta live in the real world. This man had a dream of being in the Air Force. Went through all that education, all that in there, and they did not want him there. And sometimes people get tired of fighting. People get tired of fighting. You just want to live a normal life where you don't have to deal with all these issues. From sun up to sundown, you deal with this shit. You can't move forward. You can't do nothing. It becomes to get like, okay, this needs to end. I love the report because he came forward, something a lot of people are afraid to do. He was like, no, I'm going to talk about this because this is what I've encountered here and this needs to change. Like I said, some of y'all walk around in blinders and y'all don't see this shit. Y'all don't even understand this country that you live in. I do. You'd have to be pretty damn stupid to live in the United States and not know what the fuck is going on around here in regards to how they treat black folks in particular, particularly black men and black families. You'd have to be pretty damn stupid. But so the trash y'all maybe anyway, I need to get some water. A short little video. I wanted to talk about that. I saw that report. I thought it was interesting. I got to get ready because it's supposed to be 10 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock. I'm over there straightening it up. Trying to get this damn house appraised. I can do whatever the fuck I'm going to do with this damn thing. It's appraiser number 3. Every time somebody tries to do something with this house, hey, appraisal. Here we go with this bullshit. I think this house has been appraised about 4 times this year. 4. I'm over it. Anyway, today is July 11th. The year is 2023. I'm out, and please enjoy the rest of your beautiful day. Go out and enjoy life, and I'm out of here.